So we're going to start our life project, and we're going to start off with our taxes. So first I wanted to talk about just receipts in general. Anytime that you go shopping for something that is not a food related item in the state of California, you are going to have to pay a sales tax. And this does not show our sales tax. This shows the sales tax for another state. But if you notice down here, the items came up to $145, but you still had to add on a sales tax of 6.25% in order to get the full amount that you're looking at. So make sure you understand that when you buy something, you're always going to be taxed for that item. Okay, now here we come. This is not mine. I'm going to put myself up here for a second. So this is what a paycheck might look like. Okay. Maybe. There we go. So in this amount of time, I don't even know. Okay, so it's a week long. So in a week, this person made $774 automatically. That's how much they made. Now, if you notice, there are deductions over here. Over here, they've got deductions. So you have to pay different things. So you have to pay a federal withholdings. You have to pay for FICA, Medicare, California state withholdings. So, and if you have a 401k, you have to pay money in order, not in order, just everybody's paycheck. You don't get the full amount. You always have to pay into something. Okay. Now, if we look at that, that would total up to $213. So I started off making $774, but now this is going to be $213.29 less. Okay. So when that will come out to $560.71. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at how much our new life that we picked out is going to be. So these are the tax brackets. So if your income is $11,000, 12% of your income goes to taxes. And that's if you're single. Your income, if you're single, is $44,000 and income's over $44,725. It would be 22% of your paycheck. Income's over $95,375 is 24%. Income's over $182,100 would be 32%, and over $231,250, that would be 35%. Now that's just if you're single. If you're married, then it's a little bit different. So if you're married and you make 22, if you file jointly, and if you're over 22,000, then you're the 12%, 89,450, then you're the 22%. If you're over 190,750, then you're 24%. So let's look at this. Okay, we're going to use mine. So I'm a movie director. My spouse is a stay-at-home dad, and he doesn't make any money. So together we make $299,000, and we have 6 children. Okay. So we're going to use that information in order to find our monthly salary. Now, make sure that you have 2 packets. You have one packet that says, sorry about that, my lights went out. Okay, you have 2 packets. You have one that says Life Project Practice and Notes, and that's what we're working out of right now. And so we are on the second sheet of paper that says tax practice at the top. Looks something like that. I know it's backwards, but I can't do anything about that. It says tax practice brackets. It has, hold on. It has this at the top. Okay. And then, so we're going to find this out. So my annual salary is $299,000. So I'm going to put that down here. So on your practice, I want you to fill this out right now. So you're going to fill that out. And we're going to do, hopefully you have a calculator. If you don't have a calculator, you definitely need one. So make sure that you're on the Desmos one, or else it's going to be blocked. Okay, we're going to divide that by 12. Now, make sure you round it to the nearest tenth because we only have 2 decimal spots. So when I divide that by 12, I would get $24,916.67. That's how much I make per month before they take out taxes. Okay. So hopefully you've written this down. It's very important that you write this down, boys and girls. Okay, so then, then I'm going to look at this. Okay, maybe I've got to move myself down a little bit. Okay, so there's 2 of us at home, so we're filing jointly. Okay, I make $299,000. So I want to look at the ones that are in the parentheses. So I make over $190,000, but I don't make $364,000. So I'm in this bracket right here. So that's 24%. That's 24% that's going to go to my taxes. Okay, 24%. So I'm going to come down here, 24% in decimals would be 0.24. So I'm going to take $24,916.67, multiply that by 0.24. Go for it. Hopefully you got 5,980. So we're going to take our gross amount, take the gross amount and write it down. Bring it straight down. Then it says the taxes owed to the government. So the taxes owed to the government is 5,980. And I'm going to write that down there. Okay. Then I'm going to subtract that. When I subtract that, that is how much I can take home at the end of the month and use. Okay. So now on yours, on the one that says My Life Project, I want you to go to page, it's like the 3rd page, and you're going to fill out the exact same information using your life. Okay. So we have a 5-minute timer here. What I want you to do, we're going to go on to this next part. Sorry. Okay. So this one is the next page, and skip the one that looks like this. We're going to go to the one that says Budget Basics. Actually, making sure, yes, Budget Basics. And what we're going to do is we're going to take what your net monthly income was. And for me, that was $18,936.67. Now, if you look at this wheel over here, this pie chart, it tells you your housing should only be 30% of your income. Savings should be 15%. Cars should be 15%. Food, 10%. Utilities, 10%. And then insurance, medical, clothing, and entertainment should all be 5%. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take, remember, you're making sure on the notes one, the one that says Life Project, Practice, and Notes, you're writing this down, okay? So what you're going to do is we're taking my $18,936.67 we're going to multiply that by 0.3. And when we multiply that by 0.3, we'd get $5,681. Okay, notice how the next two are 15%. So I only have to take the $18,936.67 and multiply it by 0.15. There's another way to do it. There's a trick to that. And multiply it and get $2,840.50. Or you could have divided the 30% in half. Just saying. And those both are going to be the exact same thing. Now, 10%. Hopefully you know the trick behind that, but if you don't, you take the $18,936.67, multiply it by 0.1. And hopefully you notice when you do that, all you did was move the decimal point over one time, and that will be good for both of these. Now again, this is 5%, so that's half of 10, but if you don't know that, you take $18,936.67 and you multiply that by 0.05. When you do that, hopefully you get $946.83. And that would be it for each one of those. Now we're going to go over to yours. Okay. This says that it's going to be a 5-minute timer. I am not going to have you do 5 minutes on this. It's going to take less time than that. So make sure you're on the one that says My Life Project and go to the Budget Basics page, which is like the 3rd or 4th page in, something like that. The 4th actual sheet of paper. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to write down your net monthly income and you're going to multiply it by 0.3, then 0.15, then 0.10, and then 0.05. And I'm going to actually give you a little less than 5 minutes to do that. So now we're going to move on to the FICO scoring or FICO page. And it should be the next page that you see. Remember, right now you want to be in the one that is the practice and notes. We want to be in that one right now. Okay. Your credit score impacts your total cost when financing a home or your car or anything else. Okay. Sometimes it affects your rentals cost. So let's look at this. So we have a level of excellent, good, fair, poor, very poor. Okay. And it tells you a FICO score. The interest rate for home, car, assignment percentage rate, late assignments. Do you see that? Okay. So what you're going to do when it comes to your turn, you're going to go to Google Classroom, not Google Classroom. You're going to go to Infinite Campus. Sorry. It's been 15 minutes. You're going to go to Infinite Campus and you're going to look up for this quarter. You're going to look up for this quarter what your homework assignment percentage rate is. Okay. So when you open up math, you're going to look and see what your homework percentage is. So if your homework percentage is 95% to 100, 85 to 94. Now, it's very important that you look that up because I'm going to check on that to make sure. Pretend that I have 85 to 94% assignment rate. Okay, so that means that I'm in a good range right here. Okay, I'm going to move myself over a little bit here. So my credit score for this project is 720, between 720 and 780. Okay, my car loan would be 4.2%. And then my interest rate is 6.2%. Okay. Now, it says, if you rent an apartment, a low credit score may may raise the amount of security deposit you need to pay up front before moving in, or you could be denied approval for rent. The average accepted credit score for a rental can depend on where you live. As a general rule, a score of 650 or below will typically trigger a more in-depth look into an applicant's history and trigger additional fees. Okay, so mine was good. Mine was here. Okay, mine I would have, don't know why I put it on there. My security deposit will be lower than a person with good credit. Is that true? Yes, because I have a good score, a good credit. So my security deposit would be lower than a person with good credit because I have the good credit. Okay, you have to decide on yours. Now, according to the graph, what percent of people are at or below the credit score of 650? So if I look at it, those right there. Okay, so these are at or below 650. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those percentages and I'm going to add them up. When I add those percentages up, I get 27%. Okay, so now you're going to do it. I'm going to give you a whole 2 minutes to do this. Okay, so now we are going to do mortgage or rental. Okay, so are you going to buy a home or are you going to rent a home? So find a listing for an apartment, townhouse, condo, a house for rent, and one for sale. Use the directions below to calculate your monthly rent and mortgage. Finally, make a decision about renting or buying. Depending on your FICO score, you may be able to change your interest rate on line 4. Okay, so here we go. So when I did it, I decided to go to Oxnard and do this. So I just put in Oxnard, California. Do I really want to go out? Yeah, why not? You can see, okay, this is what I found. Okay. I don't know why that did that. Okay. So my monthly rental cost would be $4,525. I need a security deposit. You have to put down money. All of a sudden, I can't see me anymore. Okay. You have to put down money. So I'm going to multiply this by 40%, which would give me 1810. And I'm hoping you're writing this down in the one for notes and practice. Okay. And then you're going to add these up. So that means in order to move into this place, I would have to pay $6,335 to move in. Okay. Next. Okay. What if I want to buy a home? So again, I'm going to pick Oxnard, and it's a pretty house. Okay. The house I wanted, I even picked a cheaper one. But remember, I have 6 kids. So I picked a 5-bedroom house because I have 6 kids. Okay. So the price of my home is $8,250,000. I need to put a 10% deposit on my home. So that would be $82,500. Okay. Now you need to subtract those. When you subtract those two numbers, hopefully you got $742,000. Try that again. $742,500. Okay. Now I need to figure out what my interest rate's going to be. So this is a 7.5% interest. Now, I'm just going with this right now, but on yours, remember that you may have been at a cheaper interest. I went ahead and just went with the 7.5, but if you have really good credit score, you might want to go with the credit score. Like mine should have been, let me go back to my FICO, 4.2. Nope, that's a car. 6.2 is what I could have used instead of the 7.5. So if you have a better credit score, you might want to use that. For this example, I'm just going to use the 7.5. So I multiplied this by 0.75, and I got $55,687.50. Now that's the interest on the house. The house originally cost, the house originally cost $825,000, but I have interest on top of that. Okay. So then I take my line 4 and I multiply it by 30. Why? Because there are 30 months. Okay. 30 is the number of years. Years. I was doing something down below. So my most loans for houses are 30 years long. And so I need to find out that's 55,000 is only for 1 year. We need to know how much it is for 30 years. So I multiply that, and that's $1,670,625. That's a lot of money. Okay, so then I add lines 3 and 5 together. So my home is really going to cost $2.4 million. Okay, now I want to know how much it's going to cost for each month. So there are 360 months in 30 years. That's what I was getting before. I was ahead of myself. So I need to divide that by 30 years. So if I do that, my monthly payment is $6,703.13. That's how much it's going to cost each month if I buy my house. Okay. So I'm not going to run the 10-minute timer. You guys take 10 minutes to do this. Okay, we should be back from the 10-minute timer now. There we go. So what you're going to do now is on this back side of the sheet, you're going to decide shoot. Nothing wants to move for me. Move. There we go. Well, it's still not going to be right. Hey, how about if I put it right there? So you're going to decide on this, on your page, not on my page, but on your page on the back side, you're going to decide what is your final decision on your house. Okay. Will you be renting or buying a home, and what factors led to your final decision? What are the benefits of renting? What are the benefits of buying, and what did you learn from this activity? So you're going to do that. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Okay, so that 5 minutes you should have finished. Now on a separate sheet of paper, I gave you, well, your substitute gave you, this is the cost of living from 1970 to 2017. Look at the price in a new house. We went from basically $23,000 for a new house to $318,000. Okay, average income is $9,400 in 1970, and then now it's 50. Well, in 2017, it's 56,000. New car. Look at the differences in this. Look at the minimum wage difference. Okay, so now what's the minimum wage for somebody who works at McDonald's? Okay, movie tickets. Look at the difference. And our movie tickets are much more than that in our valley. So look at the differences in these. Okay, milk was 62 cents a gallon, and in 2017 it was $3.15 a gallon. Coffee $1.90, $4.28. Okay, so what you're going to do is on your sheet of paper, you're going to search on the internet for what the averages for 2024 are. So I want you to do this right here, okay? All the rest of your assignments should be finished from this thing. So you did the tax practice sheet with your information, the budget basics with your information, the FICO, the mortgage or rental, all of this on your information, and then the cost of living. That's what you should have completed for today.